you all so much for joining us today at the Agent Boss Summit. Allow me to introduce Kevin Gueco, who many of you know. He is the founder of Kinoko Real Estate and Gueco Real Estate Group within the Kinoko brand. Kevin was one of the original gang that partnered with Side back in January 2017. He was already a consistent top producer back then. But he realized he hit the ceiling at 36 million. And so he decided to partner with Side at that point. By the end of 2017, he had built out a team that doubled that amount. So he was at 66 million at the end of 2017. So fast forward to today, and his team is now on track to do about 108 million, which is pretty amazing. He's been ranked this year's Real Trends America's Best, number 14 in the SF Bay Area, which, like, talk about 1% of the 1%. But always top ranked, and he has clearly built a high-performing team that has year-over-year growth. So we're going to tap his knowledge today. So please welcome Kevin Gueco. I'm going to turn it over to you, Mitch.
Cool. Hey, thank you everybody for making time to be here today. I really appreciate that. All right, so we have 6 different topics. And the first topic we're going to discuss today is recruiting. I'd like to learn a little bit about the interview process itself. You know, you take that person out to lunch, or you have someone that you're referred to, maybe from a friend. How are you vetting them? Because the time is so valuable that you have. You don't want to hire the wrong person. You want to have a system. Any advice?
So after learning from all my mistakes the first year, I realized I had to have a minimum standard for agents that I added to my team. So the second half of my team all came from referrals from Side, and the minimum standard is at least $10 million in production. What I realized is that although my systems can take an agent from 10 to 20 or even 30 million in some cases in production, it's damn near impossible to take an agent from 0 to 10 million. That's a decision that they have to make, and there's certain things that you cannot teach, like work ethic.
So once you've hired someone, can you talk a little bit about how you get someone off to a fast start?
On-the-job training and mandatory coaching, those 2 things are non-negotiable. We're recruiting $10 million producers, so they already know how to do the job. They just need to learn how to do it our way. And one of the unique things about our team is that every single escrow instruction is split. There's a share between 2 agents on our team. We don't really have any escrows that aren't split amongst multiple members of our team. So we definitely insist that all of our agents partner up, co-rep on buyer transactions, and also co-list on listings. Every single one of our listings is a co-listing. So there's on-the-job training, and people split the commissions. They have to be willing to do that. And then coaching. A lot of our agents are members of Tom Ferry Coaching. And more recently, we've basically had Kitty Cole on retainer for the past 2 years. And my agents see her in person once a month. So I'd say Tom Ferry is more accountability, energy coaching, and Kitty Cole is tactical.
So let's talk about the development of that hire as they grow in the business. What wisdom have you learned about retaining top talent?
That's a great question. It's funny because just this morning, an hour before I arrived, I had a very fierce hour-long conversation with one of my agents that's been with me for 2 years, and she broke the news to me that she was going to be leaving my team. She was poached. Any Keller Williams agents here? Oh, that's a lot. KW in the house. Well, she's going to be joining Keller Williams San Francisco, which, in my opinion, is moving backwards. The reason for it is she felt that she wanted to build her own team. And I thought, well, you realize that's why I created a second umbrella brand, so that I can graduate my agents and help them build their own brand alongside Gueco Real Estate, right? But at the end of the day, she was poached by my biggest competitor, actually. So we were third in number of sides in San Francisco, behind Keller Williams, I'm not going to say the name of the agent, and also Elite, Century 21 Elite. So our biggest competitor went after one of my number 2 producer and offered her 100% split and an office. But I'm not sweating it because I know she'll be back. I know a lot of agents that were at KW. You don't stay there very long. You tend to outgrow it very quickly. So she'll be back, and she'll have a lot of onboarding systems and processes from Keller Williams to share with me when she does.
And do you want her back? I have to be honest. The trust has been broken, the communication has been broken, and she has gone in a different direction. So the question is do you let that person go and you get that next person and you go and beat that person?
Yeah.
You go after it.
Yeah.
And I don't go backwards.
Interesting.
I do not go backwards.
Yeah. We still got a lot of love for her. Your children are going to make mistakes. And Susan's quite the disciplinarian. Oh, I'll just add that I think a big reason that people don't start a team just is the same reason people don't start relationships, is they're afraid people will leave them. But if you're actually building a business, then you have to hire and recruit. And as a result, people are going to leave you. So you have to get over that fear.
We're going to talk about culture, and this is one of those topics that I think we're all able to speak about for quite some time. I'd like for each of you, if you will, to explain a little bit about your company culture. Maybe on that lunch, what would you say about your company?
So for Kinoko, the main thing that we're screening for is having an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. So we're looking for agents that are willing to split the commission on 50 deals a year instead of having 100% commission on 10 deals a year. The problem with a high price point market like San Francisco is that agents are soft because they can get away with doing a deal every other month. But how professional can you possibly be? How much competency can you have in any profession if you're only doing a transaction every other month, or even once a month for that matter, right? So we at Kinoko and at Side believe that individual agents cannot compete with technology-enabled teams. Furthermore, we believe it's in the public interest to be able to choose from only the top real estate teams that specialize in your local market and are able to provide network effects to their buyers and sellers because of the large volume of clients that they serve.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot from the other Side partners. We did 92 deals last year. We have some partners like Nicole Solari that consistently do 300 sides every year. She's a beast, right? So that's what we're trying to get to, because when the market slows down, and it will, dabblers will exit the business, and the teams that have the systems and processes ahead of time, ahead of that growth, are going to be able to take all that market share. So that's kind of our worldview. I think a large part of culture is what you celebrate. So we do have a scoreboard, but we don't just look at number of listings and we look at all the typical leading indicators, but we also measure things like reviews. Right? Because at the end of the day, that's what is most important, is providing a consistent and predictable, delightful experience for our clients. We also, during our meetings, we have weekly sales meetings, and we do talk about deals of the week, offer scenarios, just like you do at your offices, but we also have thank-you-monials. We end every meeting with wins for the week, so we end on a positive note, and we also have thank-you-monials. So we'll go around the table, and people will give each other high fives, and that is to kind of reward teamwork. And that's something that we borrowed from provisors. They do that every provisors meeting.
With financial success being such a key component to the original attraction for a lot of people to get into real estate, and then to have an abundant mindset, it requires a certain level of differentiating between what's in it for you and what's in it for your client. And that's not right for everybody. Some people aren't able or comfortable to make that jump, and I think that's the difference between being great and being a professional. What have you learned about the ability to keep people focused on the right intentions?
So our core values at Kinoko are connection, collaboration, and consciousness. So the answer to that question is actually the first C of the 3 C's. It's connection. We really, all of the agents on our team believe that our interests are aligned with the interests of our clients, and our success really does depend on their success. And we really do try to find joy in what we do, similar to David's team. We have a lot of fun, and we have that fun with our clients.
How are you all reviewing your alignment with your agents as they grow within your business so that you make sure that you're supporting their growth?
So I don't have a good answer for this. When my team was half the size as it is today, I used to do the weekly one-on-ones. My team would get a Google form, and they would answer all these questions, which I would review in advance to it, and we would go over their scoreboard with all their leading indicators. Since my team has grown, we've dropped off because it's a lot to deal with, and I don't have a sales manager on my team. So I'm actually currently hiring a sales manager. We're opening an office in Soma in January. If you guys know of a good candidate, talk to me after.
I'm really curious about the concept of a guiding philosophy as you grow your business. And we've talked a little bit about culture, and we've talked a little bit about mission, but what are you really excited about looking forward? Like, what are you passionate about as you share your vision going into 2020?
So for 2020, what I'm most excited about is the Kinoko brand. We actually just launched it 6 months ago. So Kinoko, actually, for those that don't know, is Japanese for mushroom, which means to flourish, to blow up, to spring up suddenly overnight. And when you think of a mushroom, what we think of as mushrooms is actually just the fruiting body of the actual organism itself, which lives underground. And a lot of people don't know this, but mushrooms are actually some of the largest organisms on Earth. Some of them are as big as acres, and what they actually do is they enable a symbiotic relationship between the mushroom itself and trees. So they allow trees to communicate through their roots across acres and acres of forest and to direct water and nutrients to the trees that need it most. So without the mushroom, there would be no forest. You would only have individual trees. Most agents can't see the forest through the trees. We are the forest. So that's what I'm most passionate about, is actually just developing a robust team and helping the agents on my team do the same for themselves.
Thank you all for joining. It was great to have you.